Throwing a baseball is one of those things that seems easier than your head than it actually is. I've learned this through about 11 years of baseball experience. Specifically today, I'll be showing how to properly and effectively throw a baseball. I'll be showing the different grips and the movement of those grips, and how to avoid injury while using these same grips. Baseball is so hard because of how complex it is. Throwing is the most fundamental aspect of the game, and even the complexity of that is a little ridiculous sometimes. Even if you don't plan on playing baseball competitively, throwing, who knows, it could become a valuable life skill. Maybe you have kids and they want to play catch with you. Maybe you should know how to do it. I have played baseball for 11 years now, and as a catcher, I have learned to master catching the ball, getting it out of my glove, finding my grip, and throwing the baseball in about 0.6 of a second. And to put it in perspective, the Major League average is about 0.7 of a second-ish, so I have fully pretty much mastered it. In the next few minutes, I will show you how to properly throw a baseball. Let's start with the most fundamental part of throwing, and that is the arm motion. Working on top of the baseball while also putting enough spin on it to keep it flat is probably the most important thing you could do. So, not regarding grips, this is about what it should look like. You want to almost throw at a downhill angle while also spinning the ball enough to where it'll stay flat. So, like that. Whipping the elbow gives you velocity. However, if you whip the elbow too much, you will need a full ulnar reconstruction. And I should say, by the end of college, I will probably end up needing it, but I'm not going to bother getting surgery until my elbow completely blows out. Also, keeping your arm slot. Most important thing when throwing. If you're not playing competitively, don't drop your arm slot below your shoulder. Just keep it up top, keep it simple, and you should be fine. Now that you know the basic arm motion, I can now move on to the grips while throwing a baseball. There are two different types of fastballs. If you're not playing competitively, really the only grip you'll need is the four-seam fastball that you'll hold like this. This, while staying on top of the baseball, putting enough backspin on it, this ball will travel straight. That's it. If you plan on playing competitively, if you're a pitcher, you can move on to a two-seam grip. All that will do is it will go straight and it will fall off to the arm side. These next two, the curveball and changeup, not necessary whatsoever if you're not playing competitively. I like to throw a circle change, and how you throw that is when you throw, you snap your elbow to the outside. Kind of dangerous to the arm, but it happens. The curveball, you hold it like this, and you try and whip your elbow, I don't want to say across the body because that's how you get injured, but across the body. Really, that's all the pitch you need. Again, if you're not playing competitively, just keep a four-seam grip and you'll be fine. Now that we have learned the grips and the arm motion, I can now move on to how to avoid injury. It seems like everybody nowadays needs Tommy John surgery if you play competitively. Like I said earlier, my elbow, today's a good day because I can straighten it out all the way. Usually, that's about as far as I can get, especially after game days, and that's because I'll need a full ulnar reconstruction fairly soon. Maintaining a good arm motion is the most important way to not get injured. Again, dropping it below the shoulder, don't do it. Just don't. It's not worth it. And bringing your elbow across your body is awful. That takes all of the stress from your muscles onto your elbow. It's no good. Don't do it. Also, if you happen to pull a muscle while throwing a baseball, don't throw anymore. Because once your muscles don't want to do any more work, all of the pressure will immediately or will naturally go to your elbow. So just be smart is what I'm trying to say. So today I have taught you how to throw a baseball, and again, I will demonstrate this by staying on top of the ball and putting enough spin to keep it flat, like so. These points help show the proper way to throw a baseball. Keeping a good arm motion, knowing your grips, and avoiding injury are the most basic ways to throw a baseball. Hopefully now you Even though we weren't able to demonstrate it today with volunteers, hopefully you are now able to get a basic sense of how to throw a baseball. And who knows, maybe your kid doesn't want to go out for soccer like you want him to.